You're gonna want to take your 96 mount, throw it over these. I took a bolt, held that in place. So it doesn't move and it's sitting in the right place. These screws up here fit with the factory, exactly with the factory holes from the 94. So put these in there so you know exactly where it needs to go. It doesn't move left or right. Take those right there and mark them. I used a silver Sharpie and then just drill them out so that when the new screws go in there, they don't hit the sheet metal. Once you drill out those holes in the back, you can put the original console bolts into there to hold everything in place. The ones in the front line up perfectly, so you don't need to drill any extra holes. And now you can mark the location where you need to either weld, depending on what you want to do. In my case, I'm using stainless steel rivets so that if I ever want to put it back to original, I can without completely welding it to the car. But whatever you want to do, once you bolt these in place, it will hold them in the exact correct position and then go from there. All right, rivets worked mint. Everything's riveted in, super tight. This way I can always put it back to the original if I choose, which I probably won't. But the next thing you want to do is mark the center of this hole right here and pre-drill a hole right in the center and take a hole saw and do 1 7/8 inches. That's perfect. If you can't find that, you can get away with doing a 2-inch hole. And then you want to go underneath the car and fish your wire through. Luckily, I'm fortunate enough to have a lift to work under, but I ran into a snag here. This bracket needs to go here, but as you can see, my exhaust is too close to the transmission. But you need this too. The gear select lever off of a 96. And this cable goes onto it, but I'm gonna have to fabricate something for there. Probably make this sit up like this, but I'll be back. So you have to wire this right here to the one that was up under the dash originally, which went to here, but it's for the neutral safety switch. It went up in there. Just unplug it and then wire this into here, make it nice and neat, which I'm in the middle of doing, to there. So you take your wires from your floor shifter. Depending on what you got, I had to make an extension for them. And pink and purple go into the pink one, and green goes into the green one. The single green coming off goes to yellow. Black and orange are the same, so the black and orange go to black and orange. And this comes off of your switch right there in the back. You see it? So you pull the connectors off of there, and I just took some connectors and made them fit right into the factory plugs, so that way I didn't have to mess with the wiring and splice anything in, and everything fits correctly. Now I just have to neaten everything up. For those of you that are interested in maybe putting a push button start on your Impala, it's pretty straightforward, other than taking the entire lower dash apart to get to the ignition wires. You need to mount the box somewhere. I mounted it right here. You need to mount your antenna somewhere for your chip so that you wave at it to start the car. your wires down here. You have this brown one doesn't go to anything. This goes to your brake switch, which is up right there. Goes to that green wire up there. All of these ignition wires, these are the thick wires. You got yellow going to pink. I'm sorry, white goes to pink. Yellow goes to yellow. Red goes to red. Brown goes to brown. And blue goes to orange, which is your accessory wire. And then I ended up tuning the chip right out of for the anti-theft. So that's tuned out of the car, so it's bypassed basically. But yeah, that's basically where everything needs to go.